Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Kameel Majdali.
We're working our way through thoughts about sure foundations for our lives. Kameel, when I think of sure foundations, I'm thinking of those foundations that go down so deep that those foundations are into rock and not just on the soft soil or the sand. Why is it so important to have sure foundations for our lives based in Christ?
I'll give you one good reason, Neil, why we should have sure foundations in Christ, why we should listen to his words so we're building our lives on the rock. It is prophesied in places like Isaiah, in Haggai, and also in Hebrews. I'll give the exact reference: Isaiah 2:19, Haggai 2:6, Hebrews 12:25-29. That in the last days there will be a great universal shaking, where God promises, not threatens, promises that one more time he'll shake not only the earth, but also heaven. I like to point out to people a couple of reasons why God is doing this thing. It's actually for wonderful, magnanimous purposes. The first reason is to shake up and wake up the spiritually sleepy and sober up the spiritually drunken. This is talked about in 1 Thessalonians 5. These are people who are totally unprepared for the future. They're kind of stuck in the deck chairs of the Titanic when the ship's about to go down. The shaking wakes them up and gets them, attentive to God and on the gospel road. But the stated reason for the shaking in Hebrews 12:25-29 is God is removing the temporal kingdoms in order to make room for his kingdom, an unshakable kingdom, which of course has no end.
When I think of the shaking, I'm thinking of something like an earthquake, something that is going to shake for a period of time, and then it might stop. But those buildings that weren't on the firm foundation risk collapsing completely.
That's interesting, because I was born and raised in California. And one of the adjectives or descriptions of California is earthquake country, because it's a pretty long state and it's a very big state, and it's the most populous state in the United States. Much of it is on what is called the San Andreas Fault. So as a school child, I didn't just have fire drills, we even had earthquake drills. And what we had to do is dive under a table or get under a door jamb in the earthquake drill. I remember my first earthquake, and I think I was in the school, and all I noticed, I didn't hear anything, but the table shook a little bit. Like right now, I can see your microphone bobbing up and down, and then it was done. And I thought to myself, and I would have been like 7 or 8 years old, is that an earthquake? That's no big deal. I can handle that. I'm a good boy, I am, I thought I could, that was fine. I wouldn't even need to duck under a table. But you know what? Years later, I happened to be in California. By this time, I was, traveling the world and all, but I was in California, San Diego even. And there was an earthquake in the middle of the night. I was already a married man, already had a child. It woke us up out of a dead sleep. It was that strong, middle of the night. And what I'll never forget is I heard grown men running out into the streets and screaming out in terror. That was amazing. So, and the earth didn't open up and swallow us. It was amazing how shaken everyone was. When you have sure foundations, you will be rattled, but you won't roll.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Kameel Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Kameel, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.